I think I've played in here before. I've been in here before for sure to watch other games. I think I watched the homie Trey Burke go for like 35 in here before. He was playing with All Ohio Red. It's very random, but that's just AAU.
I'd say my favorite memory from that facility, we had third grade nationals there in '05. That was the first time I went there. We didn't win third grade nationals, unfortunately, but we were the reigning second grade champs. There was like a pre-national parade type of deal where everybody, all the teams were being introduced, and they announced us as like the reigning national champions. That felt pretty good, like we felt on top of the world.
So Wild World Sports, even though it looks completely different how the NBA set it up and everything from AAU, but I won 2 national championships there when I was in like 3rd and 4th grade. So just seeing, like, you drive up there and you see the big sign out front and everybody's out there, millions of people out there, and they got baseball tournaments going on. So I was just picturing everything from when I was little. It was pretty cool just to be back here in these circumstances. It's pretty cool.
My last game here at AAU, national championship. Yes, sir. My boy Chris Chioza played for the Nets. He was on that other team. We was going at it. I got the best of him that night.
Brought me back to the memories and brought me back to when I first started hooping. And they have like a big meeting or whatever, and I think they say like the percentages of you making it to the NBA and like the percentages of you getting a scholarship, and they were like under 1%. So it was like 0.02 you'd make it to the NBA. I'm grateful to just be here and just to keep working hard and stay.
So me, Javon, Book, Kelly, Mikhail, we're all the same class of high school. You know, there could have been a number of us there, but I don't remember running into them. I remember it being a lot of fun and a lot of games. I think we were down there in 2013 probably for like 10, 12 days. And we had a couple tournaments, and we did well. We did really well in all of them, so that was definitely fun.
Players Association. They wanted to stand up for social justice and gave the players an option of a slogan to wear on their jerseys this year to finish out the season. And so the players had a list to choose from, and they were able to choose one and then put it on a jersey. So on opening night, the 31st, we'll be wearing these jerseys, the orange ones. The players, the staff, nobody's seen these yet. I just pulled them out of the box. They'll see them hanging in the lockers for the first time. They'll be pretty excited.
The messages on the back of the jersey are really special, really important, and there's a couple of them that I was thinking about going with, but ultimately I went with equality because that's really what we want, and it's really such a baseline and simple thing to ask for, and that's what we're trying to achieve right now.
My mother taught me when I was growing up, don't judge people on the color of their skin. You know, you really judge the people how they acting to you, and I think like whole people in all worlds need to just step up, you know, and do their own little part to stop this thing.
I seek peace and I seek love, so that's it. And if everybody else did the same, then I mean, there'll be more positive things happening, more positive people coming about. So I wanted to get my message across.
It's a great time to speak up. It's always been, but I got to understand that being silent is not an option anymore. And that's why I brought justice back in my jersey, because I feel like everyone deserves justice. It's been an issue not just in the United States, it's been an issue in the whole world. And I think we have to use our platform to really send the right message. It's not against anybody, it's about human rights.
Off the court, you guys know what's going on around the world, and just respecting each other, not just black folks, but everybody, every race, different tradition, culture. Having unity is a big thing.
Being able to kneel, having the courage to do it, the NBA allowing us to do it, it just brings a little more light on all the injustice going on in the world. Every team do it and come together and be united in our message is definitely special.
Bringing the courts here was always been a process, but it was really just trying to make everything as normal as possible for everyone involved. Obviously, there's no fans in the bubble. There's crowd noise that's being pumped in. You also have a section where you'll see virtual fans, which has been very difficult and very cool to see at the same time.
Playing in the bubble is different. The fans not really there, but they there.
You can't hear them, but you see them moving around. You kind of learn to move it out of your line of sight, disregard it in a way. The most unique part of playing these arenas is the screens all around the court.
TV walls, they kind of are different, they're huge and big. I never see that in my life.
The bench is crazy. We got our own chairs, your own water, own Gatorade. I'm 6 feet away from my teammate.
We're sitting in 3 rows and somebody's behind me, you know what I'm saying, front row. So it's funny, it's like a classroom.
The bench is key. If somebody dunk, we gotta be hyped for him so he feel it as if he was in a regular game with the fans.
See, everything is abnormal for me since I'm not playing. I've been behind the scenes just trying to be me, inspire when I can, be a vocal leader when I can, and to just allow everybody to just know that I'm here.
You can hear the bench and you're all hyped up and gassed up and you're looking at them. I love it so much.
It's a different kind of experience. Free throws is pretty cool. The refs ain't got nothing to listen to besides the players. The whole different feeling about it. It's kind of like an organized pickup game for real. It's pretty much just basketball, with no extras.
Sit on the sideline during this stuff, it's just been tough. It's been the toughest thing ever, but I just get a joy in the team's success.
One of the things that came up when we were talking about going into the bubble as the equipment managers, we were like, how do 22 teams get together and do all the team's laundry? So we had calls with the NBA. They came up with this great plan of putting together a laundry facility on site here in the bubble. 66 washers, 66 dryers. It's a pretty amazing thing. Laundry here is kind of challenging. You have to do it so much, honestly. You're doing it once or twice a day, and you have to catch a shuttle. You have to go to the laundry facility, wash your own stuff, pack it, bring it back and shuttle. It's a lot more of a turnaround time than it would be during a regular season. Honestly, you're sitting in a laundromat for a good portion of the day. When everybody's out on the golf course, on the lake, you're in that laundry facility. I kind of like to just keep myself occupied, like to run out on the baseball field. It's my chance to get out and work out. When you finally have all the laundry done, dried, it's rolled up, you put it in the bags accordingly to color, what you need the next night at the game or that night at the game. Sometimes it's a quick turnaround. Try to set up the locker room as quick as possible so you have everything rolled by player, and it makes it a lot easier. And then you have to pretty much be ready to do it again. You might have to do it again that night or the next morning, but it's a quick turnaround in this thing. One of the best things about this is it brings all these teams closer together. Like yesterday, we had 7 NBA teams washing their game uniforms in there. It's pretty incredible to see. Laundry is kind of a forgotten thing. The stuff just doesn't clean itself. It's a very important thing to what we do. Somebody has to do it. Somebody's putting in those hours, and it's all the equipment managers that are doing it. And I appreciate all the other equipment managers for doing that too. It's kind of the forgotten thing of this whole bubble.
Before Monty gave us those hoodies, he showed us a few documentaries on social injustice.
There's really no understanding of our American political culture without race at the center of it.
An armed neighborhood watch leader saw Martin walking inside a gated subdivision near Orlando. He thought the 17-year-old was suspicious.
I don't know if you guys are aware, but that happened 34 miles away from where we are. I was so affected by that, and having two African-American boys and now having a Caucasian son, I realized that my two African-American boys are growing up in a totally different world than my stepson. And I was terrified of them wearing hoods. So you could easily dress the wrong way, walk in the wrong area, be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and be judged and be killed. After what happened with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, all these people, man, I just thought to myself, like, why should we, like, be afraid? Why should we have to think about the clothing we wear? Why should we have to think about, you know, where I go and being in fear of being pulled over by the police or any other type of racism and injustice and inequality? That should not be the case. And so I think we should boldly dress the way we want to, express ourselves the way we want to respectfully, and we shouldn't be limited because people are closed-minded and whack. When all this started going down, I decided to, Javon, make these for you guys. It says facts. And I hear you guys, right? You guys are saying facts, and now you've taken it another step. You guys say big facts, right? But the fact is, we are here, and we get to hoop. But the other fact is, we live in a country that still looks at you guys, you're different than he is, and that's messed up. Frank, you're different than Book, that's messed up. Okay? You're different than Cam, that's messed up.
He often does things like that for us, but this one was definitely pretty special, and all the messages and just all the meaning behind it.
You know, the hoodies mean a lot, so, you know, just him thinking of us when he went to go make them, it meant a lot.
The time he put in that and everything with the stuff on his sleeves and the hoodie and all that stuff is dope.
If you look on the inside of the back, there's a target. I put it on the inside because we do have a bit of a target on our backs.
As we progress and we keep, you know, gaining momentum, that target, it may be small and it may be there in different ways, but it's going to start to get a little bigger, and I think we have a special group here that can accomplish a lot.
We are here, we are really playing hard, you know, all 12 players, you know, and sometimes you can win the games by playing just hard.
If you look at the inside of the left sleeve, it comes from a lot of hurt and change in my life, but I've learned it to be true. It says everything you want, and then on the right sleeve, on the inside, is on the other side of hard. It's a thing that I live by. It's something that helped me get through a really, really tough time in my life. And it doesn't guarantee you success, but it does push me to not quit. I'm hopeful that you leave this environment when we do leave more expanded in how you view the world, more courageous in standing up for those who can't stand up for themselves. We want to make a better place for our kids so that you don't have to have the conversations that I've had with my boys. Living in a day and age where we all have to do more. There's people that need more.
There you see the Merc rocking the pink today, and you see pink all over Talking Stick Resort Arena.
Well, Rock the Pink is really just an extension of showing up for women. It's extended on the court through the jerseys that we've worn. The third alternate jersey being pink, and those jerseys being auctioned off, and those proceeds being donated to causes that help with cancer research is something that's just always sort of been a part of the fabric of the W, and it's something that we've been really proud of the job we've been able to do here in Phoenix.
In 2009, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a form of cancer of your lymph nodes. It was on a Thursday. We went in to see Dr. Pillsbury. And, you know, I told him about all of the things I had going on, just being fatigued and tired. He came in and he pushed in on here on the side. I'm not sure if you can see it, but he pushed in here and I was like, oh my God, what is that? Like, it hurts. And he asked me if I ever noticed it there. I told him, no, I never noticed anything. And he said it was a lump and that they need to get a biopsy of it. And that he thinks that I may have Hodgkin's lymphoma, and for me not to be too scared because that would be one of the best cancers to have. So he kind of left me at best in cancer, and I was kind of really confused. I just turned 21, and I was thinking about being drafted the upcoming year and all the things that I had. I just, like anybody, would had, you know, their life planned out, waited for the call on Monday, and when I received it, they basically told me that I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. So within a week, I went from being Jessica Breland, a basketball player, to Jessica Breland, a cancer patient.
Jessica Breland goes in on Agwumbeke. Beauty.
And I went through 6 months of chemotherapy. It really defined me for who I am today.
Jessica Breland, after she recovered from lymphoma, her first year back in the league was 2014 when we hosted the All-Star game in Phoenix. It was her first All-Star appearance. She was with Chicago, and we ended up playing Chicago in the finals. She's always wanted to be out there, whether in an editorial she wrote in USA Today or something like her My Kicks, My Cause shoes.
My kicks, my cause. I chose my battle with cancer because it made me who I am today. Get real and heal. It's very important to me because it's a program at Carolina for cancer patients, whether you are undergoing chemotherapy currently or if you have in the past. It's a place where you can go and basically exercise. It really helped me out in a way of being able to just push my body to just be able to become active again a little bit. It's just a really great environment. I met a lot of great people. The foot ribbon is a part of the Get Real, Get Heal. It's their logo. I thought it was the most cute thing ever. 10/22/09 is the date that I had my last chemotherapy treatment. It means a lot to me because that's the day that I was able to go into complete remission and leave, chemotherapy behind. So that day, 10/22/09, I can look back and say that day I beat cancer. I chose walk by faith and not by sight because those are the words that really, really got me through everything I went through at the time with cancer.
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud to be a part of this organization that has always had players who take a stand for things that they believe in. It's on her shoes. She shows up for that cause, and it also ties perfectly to what we do with Rock the Pink.
My advice for people who are battling cancer right now or know someone that is walk by faith and not by sight. Just keep on, have your faith, keep your energy up, stay positive, keep positive people around you, and know that it's going to be a better outcome at the end of the tunnel.
Hey guys, welcome to another Phoenix Suns broadcast.
Well, once we found out we were doing the games in Orlando and we realized we didn't have access to the arena because of the renovation, or ASU for our studio, we had to develop our own studio. We turned the historic building that's next to the arena into a studio. And I basically call that our Frankenstein operation because it really is very quirky and odd.
Oh, brother!
And in this building, we set up kind of a small makeshift studio for the pre and halftime postgame show with Tom Leanne and Tom Chambers.
TC finally found a fan. Get it?
We put together a small room and turned it into an announce booth for Kevin Ray and Eddie Johnson.
So as we take a look at our starting lineups for tonight's matchup.
And we also have an area for our radio. Al McCoy and Tim Kempton calling the game on.
Cam Johnson for three. Shazam! Well, Cam Johnson knocking down another 3-0.
The Suns have done a great job in setting K-Ray and I up in our little private room with our TV, big screen. We sitting there like we at home. All I need is some nachos now.
Book finds Cam Johnson, sets up corner three and loads it up.
Yes, we can see the game, as EJ said, just like the viewers at home on the screen. But when we're doing a game, there's so many other things that as broadcasters, you're observing. You're able to look down on the bench, see what's being communicated during the timeout. Just so many of the little things that you, in many ways, take for granted until it's not there in front of you.
Finding a place for the TV truck was very challenging. With this kind of heat and humidity, the air conditioning units on the TV truck would have a tough time keeping the truck cool. We found a little tiny nook right on the inside entrance of the south side of the arena, so it could be in the shade, but unfortunately it was a 90-degree turn and that was a 53-foot semi, and I have to give props to the TV truck driver. He backed that in. It took him a little over an hour to go about 40 feet. Another challenge we had was because of the virus, we couldn't have our full crew in the TV truck. It's just too many people in a small area. So we had to rent a mobile mini unit, which parked next to the truck, thus becoming another sub-TV truck. We had to run TV fiber and audio cables in a PVC pipe down Jackson Street, so a whole block down to this building here as our umbilical cord basically to the TV truck.
That's great to have basketball back, and hopefully we get you back at some point too. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, guys. All right, time and
Involved upon two, music, open the headsets.
The day starts probably 7 hours or so before tip time. There's a lot of checking and checking again and just really making doubly sure that we're getting all the audio and video feeds that we need to be able to carry out the broadcast.
Do you want to see us call?
Right now we're taking essentially one feed from Orlando that includes camera cuts, replays, pretty much everything except graphics. And then we have one single camera that I'm in contact with on my headset, and that's the only camera I have that I can ask for a particular shot.
Go to 8 and 22. There you go. Push in on 22. Let's do Carl's Junior star, Cam Johnson, okay?
Cam Johnson, first career double-double, 19 and 12, our Carl Jr. star.
One of my most important roles is to communicate with the announcers to tell them what they're going to see next.
Michael, do you see anything? I think that's off Cam Johnson.
Show A after they're clear there.
No, they called Sun's ball, right? They called Sun's ball.
Oh, he did. See, I didn't see that.
I work very closely with Bob Adlock, the director, and so during the game, I'll determine when we're going to take a commercial break, when we're coming back.
It's just me on that front bench with our technical director. He's the one that sits in front of the switcher, and it has all the video inputs for the entire show, every camera source. He spoke about this idea he had to build a special air filtration system and put it in the truck while we were working.
An idea I had come up with was to be able to do sterilization of the air using UVC light.
Lynn's one of the smartest people I've ever met. I've joked with him for years that he's been wasting his time in TV. He should be curing cancer or world hunger or something like that because he's that smart.
So at 3 different points, the air is drawn in to the UV bath and it comes down this duct. And after it's all done, I have end caps built into the mounting so the UV doesn't escape anywhere in the truck. But it's eventually drawn down this makeshift duct into a HEPA filter. And this both draws the air and further filters what comes through.
Every hour, it completely refilters the air within the truck, which is important in these times.
They're going for the win.
Quick inbound. Tim Hardaway Jr. going for the win. Will not get it.
Yeah, Suns win. 32.
Suns in one of the most unlikely comeback victories of the season will steal this one 117-115. And now stay tuned for Suns live coverage with your hosts Tom Leander and Tom Chambers. Phoenix Suns basketball.
Reveal the act. Open the headset. Go, Tom.
Suns would build a 9-point lead. They hang on to win it 117-115 over the Dallas Mavericks in the bubble. Let's go to Orlando right now, joined by Cam Johnson.
It was fun, just, battling back. We're down.
Take double box. Yeah, that's it.
If the league does start back up in December, as has been discussed, I'd be very surprised if we're not doing a similar type broadcast.
Most viruses that have affected this world have eventually gone away. And so we're hoping that's what happens. But until then, we're ready to do whatever we need to do.
Tiffin Kaminsky.
Closing billboard.
Closing copy.
Thanks so much for being with us, and so long.